What's up, guys? This is Dave from The Disorderly. I'm joined once again by our good buddy, Mr. Andrew Volpe, here to talk about the most just diabolical, insane money-making monster, the gratuitous, the record-breaking 2.18 billion, whatever the hell it's made, Avengers Endgame. Got to do it. It's out there. You have to see it. Ash didn't even want to see it, and she was like, I have to see it.
I think they just
that's
they announced that it's like a new law for the world that everyone on the planet is required to see this movie now.
It's like I'm honestly kind of impressed in the sheer, like, to create something with so much insane hype and nonsense built around it that you don't even want to see it, but you're like, oh God, I have to, like, it's a chore.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
I not to sidetrack us right away, but did you guys have any trouble getting tickets for this, or trying to find a theater for it?
No. So the first time, for the first Avengers, was the Avengers Endgame, not the first Avengers, but Avengers Endgame. No.
Infinity War, you mean, right?
Infinity War, yeah. Right? Yeah, the part one of this nonsense. That was something I've never experienced, where, because I live in Southern California. There's movie theaters all over the place. Like, going to the movies is a huge thing out here. There's just a lot of people go. There's tons of show times. A lot of movies are playing that you can't get maybe in other parts of the country. And it was a nightmare. We couldn't go. I think we drove around. Ash and I drove around to like 3 or 4 different movie theaters just trying to get tickets and things like that. And this was, I'm trying to remember, but this was before, before Movie Pass and before?
No,
I don't know.
No, it must have been during Movie Pass, but probably when they were, I mean, they've been on the way out for a while now, but yeah. Yeah, that's probably when it was like everyone still had it, but it was starting to suck real bad.
Because I think what we were trying to do is we were trying to, you couldn't, everything that was sold, anything that you could buy online, like if you go on your phone, you go on Fandango, whatever, and you want to buy your select reserved seats, it was all gone.
Yeah.
And so what we were driving around were going to the showings that were the free for all, old school,
just
OG,
show
classic,
up and try to get a seat,
first come, first serve. Just, punch someone to get a better seat, whatever nonsense, like we did when we were kids,
Yeah, like a total Black Friday sort of scene.
No, exactly. It's just someone's sitting here, shaving sheets.
Oh God.
So we ended up going to like a university mall, like the University of. One of the UC schools, to go to their local campus. It's a little smaller, little theater, but crappy seats. And you go sit in, like an art house theater kind of style, and we saw it, but that was it. Like we were at desperate times.
Well, that's funny because that's kind of the experience I had this time around. I can't remember. I think the first when Infinity War came out, I saw it. I happened to have like a Friday off, so I saw it at super early in the morning and didn't have any trouble. But for this one, I was trying to go like Friday night or Saturday, and they had like people doing round the clock showings at like 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. and all of them were filled.
Cruel.
All of them were filled except for the first row that no one wants. Like unanimously, it was like always like booked except for the first row. And I had to drive like 20 miles away to find a theater that actually had a seat available. And I was gonna try to go with a few people, but it ended up being one of those like, I'm just gonna go see this by myself so I can get this over with. And the other thing was like, I was like, I need to see this movie because I'm not gonna be able to get on fucking Facebook for the next 3 days until I see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a brilliant marketing scheme. And like, the nerd part of me is happy. I'm glad it's successful, but I do wonder, does this mean like, are we really entering the quote unquote end game where everything is just going to be superheroes and Star Wars, and then like all other movies are relegated to Netflix or something?
Yeah, which is fine with me because I'm I'm just tired of I'm
Dealing
tired
with
of the hype,
people.
man.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just tired. I was just
Well,
the weirdness of these movies, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's yeah. That's the thing is like, I'm very curious. I'm sure they're going to be super successful, especially considering that now they're going to have like, if they didn't have unlimited money before, they're going to have like Marvel's going to build its own country or something like that, like a sovereign nation because it can. Like, just from this movie alone, I feel like.
The Disney overlords are just
Disney is Thanos. The memes are correct. It's crazy, man. But and like I'm very mixed in emotions with it because I'm like, kudos to them. They pulled it off through. Like I really wish, one day, like 10 years from now or something like that, somebody does a movie about all the going-ons of all the executives behind all these crazy superhero movies and just like tell the history of all this stuff, like the rise of Marvel, and I'm sure all of the infighting behind the scenes and everything like that, because it's just crazy how important culturally these things have become. Like 5 years ago it was still kind of like, oh hey, these movies are fun, but they still had a twinge of nerdiness, and now it's like your grandma is like asking, who like what happens with the Infinity Gauntlet. You know what I mean? Like, it's
all right. I don't know, man. Yeah, I almost feel the opposite, where I'm just like, I enjoyed. Now I feel like there's this fake fervor about them. You know what I mean? Where I have to watch like a 5-year-old and then his dad who never read a comic book. Like shove me down the stairs trying to get to the best seats to see Black Panther or something.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, yeah, dude, I don't know, man. I'm kind of glad that it's kind of coming to a close.
Yeah,
and everyone can just regroup and chill out, because I'm just it's just I don't know, man. It's just so weird. I just
I mean, I totally agree. I'm like definitely. I think I said on like whatever our last review was, like I'm pretty ready to like tap out for a bit on superhero movies, even though I love them, like they're great, and but I have a sneaking suspicion that I feel like especially since Marvel's kind of keeping all of their lineup low key, like I do wonder if they'd pull something weird that no one would suspect out next to really hook people, like, oh, we got the new Fantastic Four movie coming out, or, we're going to start talking about plans to integrate the X-Men into the Marvel Universe, because that seems like the next logical, like, 10-year plan is how you're going to integrate all those characters and everything. And that really...
Well, I'm just excited to see how Captain Marvel plays a giant role in everything moving forward.
Yeah. It's funny because, same thing, like, I not to just jump around, but I did not see the Captain Marvel movie, as I said, and
did you not see it?
Yeah,
you just didn't see it.
I didn't see it because I figured it'll come on well, I guess it won't come on Netflix, but I'm sure
it's gonna be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, so I'm sure it'll work my way into my viewing at some point.
You'll see it on the 7 Seas, my friend. Yeah, there's no way you're going to subscribe to Disney Plus.
Oh man.
Yeah, you'll see it up on the high seas.
Oh yeah,
Captain Jack Sparrow out there.
Oh no, I'll see it on a plane. Like that seems like
that's a good idea.
Ultimate like on a plane sort of movie, and it's also
oh
sorry,
it's almost like pirating is seeing it on a plane.
Yeah, basically.
It's like, I didn't pirate it. Wink, wink. I saw it on a plane. You know what I mean?
Well, like it's like you have those movies that are like I if I had a choice where I would actually pay money to see this, I'd go with just not seeing it then. So, but not to diss it too much, but I at least based on Captain Marvel's character in this movie, it seemed very apparent that like people didn't know what to do with her, and I still didn't get any read from her character aside from the fact that she's like in your face. Like she's kind of like the Poochie of superhero characters. Like she's radical and in your face and very one note, and she even has the part where she has to go like fucking fly home to her home planet for most of the movie. But I think the thing that's rough with a character like that, like I always kind of have a problem, it's like a little bit of the Superman dilemma, where it's like if you have a character, especially a good guy, that's that powerful, you have to figure out excuses to, you know, preoccupy them if you're making you know, a big action story like this, because it's like basically them showing up as the instant win button, and you know, that's kind of seemed like what the case with this one, where she kind of like shows up for the first 10 minutes and then it's like, oh, I gotta go do something, and then, you know, comes in for the last 10 minutes or whatever.
Well, what's crazy is like Kevin Feige, who's, you know, the president. Forgive me if I'm incorrect, but I just see 10,000 headlines a day and all this stuff, and it's like Kevin Feige says Captain Marvel will play a huge role in the next phase. Kevin Feige says Captain Marvel is, you know, the most powerful Avenger, most powerful superhero, and then Brie Larson's like, yeah, she's more powerful than Thanos, and you're like, yeah, okay, all right, well, how's the movie gonna go? Oh yeah, she just runs around and does. I mean, like to give you a 5-second recap of Captain Marvel. Yeah, nothing happens, and then she gets jet washed in some weird explosion, a la Swamp Thing style, and then now she's just like the most powerful being in the universe. Like, it makes no sense.
Well, so that's the problem I always. And the thing is, like, I don't give a fuck about, like, I love, like, female Marvel characters and everything like that, but like,
here he goes.
But my thing with this particular character, like Captain Marvel, even like in the comic books, you know, like when they'd have Avengers, you know, team ups, I never was able to get a real read on her. Like and you know, I never read the comics, so I assumed like I didn't get any more depth from that. And there might be, I know there's a lot of fans out there, so maybe there's like a better rendering of the character, but
I don't think there are. I think they tried to reboot the Captain Marvel, the Civil War Captain Marvel, you know, the
right, the original,
the current, no, yeah, but the female version, the Carol, like they tried like rebooting it over and over again because it wasn't biting.
Well, okay, so my beef with her, and once again, I don't know if they go into it in the movie, but the thing that kind of like even turned me off from the trailer is like, you know, a lot of the appeal of the different characters is like you can take a look at them and you kind of get what their deal is. Like Doctor Strange has weird mystical stuff. Spider-Man, you know, jumps around and is very acrobatic, but I don't know what her power set is, except for weird, like whenever it's like, oh, somebody just shoots cosmic rays out of their hands, like
that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
she can fly, and she can just fly through ships.
Yeah, and
that's it. Yeah, I don't know.
And the thing that sucks is Brie Larson is a really great actress. It's just like I feel like I don't know if she's given anything to do with this character. You know, like I said, she.
I mean, you know, she won an Oscar. She did some great stuff, but this one, for Captain Marvel, man.
Yeah.
I mean, she was atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, well,
like she made Daisy Ridley in Force Awakens look like goddamn Meryl Streep in Sophie's Choice.
Well, I mean, I think that's like kind of one of the reasons why she was in it like a mercifully short amount of time, and you know, like, yeah, she basically. The thing I noticed overall in this movie a little bit more, it made me appreciate the structure of Infinity War a little bit more, for how, you know, the movie flowed together, even if even if people have their qualms with it, but this one was a lot more like sectional, like, oh, gotta have this cameo with this person, or like
it was like 3 movies.
Yeah, it's basically every single hour was a different movie, and it's definitely like, it wasn't like badly paced, but it was like disjointedly paced. Like I still admire the Russo brothers because they totally pulled it off. Like just finishing the fucking movie is an achievement in my book, and it still worked a lot, but you know, it definitely, it was a little bit like you know, the ship was like got to the runway, but it was like starting to fall apart towards the end a little bit. And usually, you know, like as always, whenever you start introducing time travel into any sort of franchise, you're just opening yourself up for all sorts of plot holes and logical issues that you really have to go out of your way to turn your brain off about and everything.
Oh man, yeah, no, it was I don't know, man. Yeah, you knew, I mean, I think anyone, except the normies, you know what I mean? But everyone was kind of like, time travel is obviously going to come into play somehow, right? You know what I mean? I thought it was interesting how they did it, but
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I thought it was like there's things about it that I definitely liked. Like, yeah, I had assumed that since one of the Infinity Stones controlled time, that was going to be your into it, but instead they do this like way more convoluted quantum realm stuff, which was set up in Ant-Man, so I guess that's a good tie into it. But it definitely like and the thing I liked about it was the way they went out of their way to explain like the Back to the Future rules don't work in this. Explaining a reason why they couldn't just go kill Thanos when he was a baby or whatever. That was kind of cool, but I feel like it kind of violated its own rules a little bit towards the end with the Captain America stuff. And
don't even get me started. If you're going to jump into the Captain America thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
no, go for it. I mean, I was just like, what the hell are you doing? Are you telling me that he just lived the rest of his goddamn life and just ignored like atrocities and just grew old?
Yeah, I mean, I almost thought it, like, I could almost picture him being like, well, I'm gonna go on adventures for another 20 years and then I'll go back and finally have sex for the first time or whatever. That's like one of the things.
I mean,
like, he's a virgin, right? Like, I assume he's never had sex.
You don't think he was ever out on shore leave or something? You know what I mean?
I would assume, but like his character. Well, honestly, my real reading with him is like, I mean, come on, man, his obsession with Bucky. Like, they even kind of almost make a joke about it, and this one, like, I think the subtext is he's like kind of like bi and into Bucky, but I don't know. I thought, but okay. So, anyways, sidetrack. Yeah, this I had to hand it to them that they. I liked that they didn't just kill off Iron Man and Captain America. Like, I was picturing it like, okay, Chris Evans and Downey's contracts are up, so the ending part of the battle is them going to like hit Thanos at the same time because they're friends and whatever. But by killing off Downey and then kind of like making it seem like Captain America had his own storyline for a while too, it didn't totally work. It was like a little too quick, wrappy-uppy, but it still did the trick. And I did like seeing older Steve Rogers. That was like kind of nice. I don't know. What did you think? Were you?
It threw me for a loop because I thought they were going to. For a second, I thought he was gonna reappear as his scrawny self.
Oh yeah.
That he was just gonna come back as a scrawny old man, and like not old man, like young scrawny Cap, and then he was just gonna live out a normal timeline and die unaffected. As he should be, you know what I mean? Like, he should have just, been a scrawny old man and just. I thought that was all right. And then you start to go down the wormhole of like, so he just. So what did he do on like in 2011 or in New York or whatever? He was like, oh shit, let's not go into the city. Let's.
Yeah.
Did he just let shit happen? He just lets.
Yeah, I mean,
He just sits there and goes, yeah, oh, what are you going to do about that? And he's still Captain America the whole time, right?
Yeah, and also, he's old as fuck at that point, too, so, I don't know, maybe...
So would he age? How would he age,
right? That is the thing I was wondering about.
Because he's like Highlander, basically.
Right? I was wondering, like, how long does he...
McLeod rules.
Can he live till 200 years? Like, he almost assuredly would, like, well outlive his wife, so... That was the other thing I was wondering, like, if at the point in the end of the movie where he meets, like, all of the,
right. Is he really, like, 1,000 years old?
Yeah, maybe he's a vampire. Who knows?
Oh, there you go.
But I something about the idea of Captain America, like, traveling through time and having more adventures does kind of please me a little bit. It made me think, you read Marvel 1602, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a... aspect of time traveling Captain America that's pretty cool. And so like I thought it was a little quick. And what do you think of him like passing the baton and all that? Did you?
Well, I just I think they kind of talked about it because I think it was kind of between him and Bucky, right? Of who was gonna
like take the mantle.
Was it gonna be was it gonna be Mackie or was it gonna be Sebastian Stan that kind of is the next phase? And I think it made more sense to do Sebastian Stan considering he's a super soldier.
Yeah.
And Mackie is not.
And both of them have been in the comics. Both of them were Captain America at some point, right?
I know. That probably.
Yeah, but yeah, I do totally agree because, Sebastian Stan is superpowered, and Anthony Mackie, is like a good soldier, but he's like a regular dude. So
he's less effective than Don Cheadle.
Yeah, well,
at least John Cheadle has a goddamn Iron Man suit.
Yeah, totally, and also like, name one movie where Raven was. I guess he kind of did some stuff in Civil War, but like even in both these Infinity War movies, he was kind of like, well, we're gonna kill you off really quickly, or you can like come in for 2 seconds and like punch a guy. But
they put Falcon in the Ant-Man movie, They gotta throw him
right. But yeah, so aren't they? I thought I read an article that like part of this whole Disney Plus deal is aren't there going to be like 5 Marvel TV shows springing from this movie?
So Falcon and Bucky are going to get a show where they just like sit on a couch with the shield in between them, and they just awkwardly look at each other, then down to the shield, then at each other, then down again to the shield.
Fight over it.
So I don't know. I don't know. I guess that sounds fine. The whole where they go from here is just I don't know. I honestly hope that Professor Hulk and the rest of them just kind of go off on their own, and then we find some kind of Fat Thor heads off with the Avengers, and maybe they take Ant-Man with them. And just have a pair of the likable, fun characters.
Yeah, you just want to take all the cool characters and have them like go on their
just
own
get
adventure.
them out of here.
Well, I mean, they're kind of doing that with Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor. I thought that was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just take everyone to space. Just get them out of here.
Well, okay, so yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that seems like they set up Guardians 3 pretty well. And what else? Oh, okay. The other thing I'm confused about. One of the bigger gripes I had with the movie was I thought they really short shrifted Scarlett Johansson. Like if that's actually her character's death, I thought that was kind of whack. Just because
you didn't like all the fake outs.
Yeah, I mean,
no, I'm gonna die. No, you die.
Yeah, and it's it's like I was kind of hoping because she didn't have that much stuff to do in the last Avengers movie that she would, have like a big, like be a pivotal part of the plot in this one. And she kind of like has like 2 scenes and then, has to sacrifice herself. So I thought I heard that they were working on a, Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
But
so she's going to get a prequel movie, which is basically going to be probably a more hardcore version of
like that J-Law movie,
right? Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Red Sparrow or whatever the fuck.
Red Sparrow, yes.
I mean,
learn how learn how she became basically Killing Eve.
Yeah, which is cool, I guess, but I assume that she's got to be alive. Like they would not be making that movie if they killed off the character. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's what's the point otherwise,
she's got to be dead. They said she's not coming back. She's not coming back. No matter what we do, she's not coming back.
Nobody ever, comics, once you're dead, you're always dead, as we all know, clearly.
Yeah. They'll never reboot it.
What else? So I'm glad you touched on it. Fat Thor and Professor Hulk. Two
Fat Thor.
Awesome
Love
parts.
Fat Thor.
Yeah.
Love Fat Thor. Did not like Professor Hulk.
Really?
No.
Why not?
Just so goofy, man. The scene. Oh, you want to take a selfie with me? Oh, okay. Yeah, take your selfie.
Oh, man.
I'm just like, it's the worst part. It's like, like what makes the Hulk crazy is that this man has a Hulk inside of him.
Right.
And then he loses all ability, and then the Hulk is basically an incommunicable monster creature that just destroys shit. And then even they you better, start smashing some shit to pretend you're really the Hulk. And he's like, all right. And he just starts smashing the car a little bit. And I'm like, this is the worst. This is the worst. He's just Banner.
Yeah.
He's just a big shredded up Banner. Like, I don't want that.
I don't know.
I want the Hulk.
I thought it was interesting, that humor that comes from, it seemed like they were milking the juxtaposition between, basically, Ruffalo Hulk being, like lounging back and being all gentle and stuff, like
right. No, but I like neurotic, kind of nervous, freaked out Banner that Ruffalo did well in all the previous films. This one, he's way too comfortable, and he's trying to be kind of like too affable and likable. Like I didn't dig it. I didn't like it. I like when he's constantly paranoid that he's gonna lose it and become the Hulk.
Right. And I
mean?
agree. Like, basically, I would say for me personally, like, I liked it as this movie thing. Like, I assume and I hope that whatever the next appearance of Hulk is, something will happen where he basically turns back to normal. But because there's no way they just, like, for all movies going forward, just have him be Professor Hulk. Like, I think that'd be not interesting. But I just in terms of if you look at it paired with Infinity War, where it's just all Ruffalo for most of the movie, it is kind of cool to see all Hulk for this movie. But I guess you do kind of get robbed of that angry rage of the Hulk. Like, he's pretty much absent from both of these movies.
Right. I mean, I love one of the most metal scenes in the entire MCU is when I think it's the first Avengers, when Hulk first hulks out when he's on the sky giant, whatever it is, the flying
shield
the flying shield air carrier thing, and you just hear like animals shrieking and
when he's
Natasha's
chasing Scarlet Widow,
and you feel like a goddamn Tyrannosaurus is on this thing with her,
right?
You know what I mean? And you sense that panic in her that, oh shit, something I can't talk down is gonna come through here,
right?
And I love that, like, visceral craziness of it, that it's just a force of nature. And then when you start to, like, just walk it back, it just loses it for me.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Hulk, that it's just this crazy monster creature.
Yeah.
That's what I dig about it.
I definitely agree. Like, that is his interesting, like, that's the reason why the Hulk is compelling. Same thing. Like, I hope it was interesting as, like, a one-off thing for me, especially since the Hulk, since you have so many other storylines in the mix, like, it's just something different for that character to do for the movie, but, like, quickly. So I don't think they're ever going to make, like, a solo Hulk movie, but I assume he's going to just, like, keep on cameoing in other Marvel movies now or whatever.
Yeah, no, they'll have to figure it out with him. I don't know where you put him with. They put him with the Thor, for the Ragnarok, which I think worked pretty well. But I don't know if you put him with Ant-Man, because Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't make a whole lot of money. So
yeah.
I don't know if they try to shoehorn him into another little franchise. You pair him up with Ronin or something.
They're gonna
Ronin a goddamn movie. I don't know.
They're gonna pair him up with Captain Marvel, man, because it's gonna be like, oh hey, is that movie a little bland? Well, let's, like, sprinkle some green paprika on it or whatever to make it a little bit more appetizing. Like,
throw a little Ruffalo on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But all right, what else we got? I liked. Did you like Crazy Spazzy Iron Man? Tony Stark on the brink of death.
He was good, but was it just me, or, like, I don't know if he's just, like, so into like, I don't know, super healthy lifestyle that he's, like, just super thin now. But
no, I think that was digital. I saw some fuzziness around it.
Yeah,
I think that was all digital.
Like, yeah, because that scene when he returns and he's, like, hooked up to the IV, they definitely, like, played up the, like, you can see his ribcage kind of thing.
No, I don't think that was real.
I mean, that makes sense.
I think that was...
Yeah, especially with all the crazy, body de-aging stuff they're doing, that makes sense that they could do that too. But, it was effective. I definitely, like, I thought Downey was good in it. And he was delivering it well. Like, it was, I would say, like, on par with, like, his Civil War performance, where, he's a little bit more serious than normal Iron Man, but I still feel like I could feel, him being like, almost fucking done with this, like, and I can retire to my island and never have to deal with people ever again or something.
No, yeah, he was pretty jazzed, and I guess we figured out, because did we know in the last movie if Pepper Potts got snapped up? I thought they had kind of said that she wasn't going to be involved in this one.
Oh, really? I mean, they definitely left it. I don't think they said one way or another in the context of the movie. So, but yeah, I was surprised. I figured she'd show up at the end because I heard rumors that like her as Rescue were going to be included in the movie, but I kind of assumed that it would be, you know, Tony's all heartbroken because the baby's gone and Pepper's gone, and then, you know, that's one of the motivators to bring him back. But you know, and I'll hand it to them too. Like, it wasn't always satisfying, but the movie did not go in. Like, it did surprise me with the directions it went. Sometimes it was like I wouldn't have done that, but for the most part, it was like it was nice to not, you know, for it to go in a different direction. Like, Thanos getting killed off in the first 10 minutes of this one was unexpected, but also made a little sense. Like, yeah, I guess he would destroy the Infinity Stones immediately after if you really wanted no one to, you know, like undo what you did or whatever.
Do you have a problem? A lot of people wanted him to be just done after that. Like,
yeah, and then
like they didn't like that he was kind of brought back in a past version.
Yeah, he definitely was less effective, and I thought it was cool. Like, it definitely made me think of how it was interesting to see like the character that was so integral to the previous movie. Like, it really was his movie or whatever. He was pretty much the main character. To see him kind of just be kind of more of your basic villain. Like, I feel like the Russo brothers were like, okay, we developed his character. He's like more or less just going to be there to be the threat to, you know, incite the final battle, because, you know, like he wasn't giving any like really deep monologues or whatever. It was mostly just there to show up to blow things up, and it looked cool, and it was a little weird though. It did feel a little disconnecting to basically have another random adversary. It made it feel like, okay, we just need somebody, like an excuse for all these heroes to get together and fight something. So and it also really does, yeah, once again, the whole time travel thing like really does make you like the logic of it, like suddenly it's like, well, what are the effects of this? Like, it makes me wonder what happens in all the other timelines too, because yeah, I know they returned all the Infinity Stones to the other timelines theoretically, but like, can't you just keep on going to the next timeline over? And like, I don't know, it just
because the only one that didn't get fixed basically was Loki, right? Because he steals the Tesseract and goes back.
Yeah, and
it just disappears. So that's the only, and then they have to go back further, right, to go steal it again.
Right. For
so, yeah,
shameless cameo number 7 or something like that.
Exactly. My favorite was Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, she was cool. Oh, wait, is that sarcasm or?
No, but just you know. Like, why do we have to explain this to you?
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like, don't you know all this shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to convince you to do this? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like...
I gotta say, most of the, like, you know, the ramifications of the time stuff was complicated, and the getting them to the point where they could time travel was very convoluted. But once they're in the jumping around to the different movies, which I feel like they had planned from the start, like if this is their big finale, it's kind of them going to their greatest hits or whatever, which is like, that was probably when the movie I felt was like really in full swing, kind of like pretty much like that section of the time travel stuff, and you know, the big fight at the end that like takes an hour or so. But that's the thing, is there's so much plotting stuff in between that it seems like it's just weird to have so much like sullen quiet talking for so much of the movie, and then just kind of saving all of your big set pieces for pretty much the middle and the end and everything. So
how was your because a lot of people are saying that they liked the Infinity War battle more than this battle.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I mean, like, how could I don't know. By the time the Endgame battle was, I was ready to rock.
Yeah,
I was like, let's get on up and get on out. You know what I mean? I was I was done. But I think objectively, if you just put them both on, I'd rather watch the second one, I guess. I mean, it's just mayhem. You know what I mean?
Well, so I liked it. And I liked, just like the movies, I like that this one wasn't just repeating Infinity War. Like, it was a huge, ginormous battle, but it was a little bit more, I think, intentionally, like, messy and pandemonium and, like, definitely, like, very Return of the King climaxy, like, just, like, bodies everywhere and everything. But if I had to compare the two, I'd definitely go with Infinity War just because, that whole Wakanda scene is, like, just because they get,
even without the rhinos.
Yeah, I mean, like...
You still gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean, like, it just has more time to breathe. And it's not just, like, the Wakanda scene, it's the cutting between all the different action scenes. And that's kind of when, like, the first time round, you're still kind of don't know what the limits of Thanos' power is. So that naturally makes it a little bit more exciting. And this one, like, Thanos is kind of... It's weird. It's like the thing that always happens in superhero comics. When you look into the logic of it, why is it that Thanos can take down like all of the Avengers at the same time? But also,
like, how strong is he?
Yeah.
We never know. Do we ever find out? All we know is that his head is not as strong as that damn
that axe.
Stonebreaker or Axebreaker or whatever the hell is. Oathbreaker, Stormbreaker.
I was surprised how much of the beheading you saw too. For like, it got kind of dark at parts for a PG-13 movie that like every toddler in the world is going to see pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, every fetus in the world is going to see this.
Yeah, they're going to be streaming the movie like in the womb or whatever.
I saw some breastfeeding going on in the theaters. Like everyone in there. The crazy, right next to me, literally, like it was wild. It blew my mind because a older gentleman and his wife, maybe late 50s, early 60s, like full, like Islamic Muslim couple, full wife wearing full headscarf, are just dropping bombs the entire time, the entire movie. That's what. Just every callback, every this, every that. They were like so on top of it.
Wow.
I'm sitting there like, Jesus Christ. Like, this thing is a monster. Like, just the least likely people to me in the world that they would be all over Captain America,
right.
Like over the Hulk bullshit, Thanos, blah, blah, blah. Like this old Islamic Muslim couple was like on top of it, dude.
Man. Well,
and I was like, dude, this thing is crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying now is like nerd culture. If it was not mainstream before, this is like the most telling sign of like it is Disneyland now. It's gonna be Disneyland. Like it's everywhere. But that's the thing is like part of me is like, well, that's cool. Like that's like kind of what every nerd hopes for. Like it's like the Kevin Smith dream from the 90s, like now put into play. But it also, as with anything, whenever like everyone's into it, it makes whatever you're into like a little bit less cool, just because it's like it's what everyone's into now or whatever. But I still gotta hand it to them. It's I'm not saying it's not like just fluffy popcorn movie stuff, but they do a good job with it. And even though this was a little uneven, they still pulled it off. Right? Or are you just like...
Yeah, no, I guess. I mean, yeah. It was fine. I mean, I little minor gripes. I thought, like, the Iron Man gauntlet.
Yeah.
And I thought poor Peter Dinklage, dwarf...
yeah, what happened to him?
Giant dwarf, man. He lost his damn hands because...
Yeah.
Thanos, he killed all the other giants and shut down that forge powered by the sun. Meanwhile... Iron Man was like, let me whip this gauntlet up in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and I like how it resized for the Hulk's hand and everything. Like,
well, yeah, naturally.
But yeah, I mean, the only like if I was going to think it out, I would be like, well, was he working on it over the course of the 5 years? The 5-year interim.
He didn't sound like he was working on it when he was in the cabin where he didn't want any part of it.
Yeah,
so he was like, "Oh yeah, I got one of these laying around. Hold on a second. Beep boop bop boop."
I mean, that's the way it always is, and all. Like, you know, I love how he always has like the literally thousands and thousands of Iron Man costumes, and it's like,
no, they were like, how can we sell more Infinity Gauntlet toys?
Right.
Well, what if we just made one that was a goddamn Iron Man glove, and then also had the Infinity Stones on it? Why don't we just do that?
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Yep. And that'll be our special edition. And why not make a Captain America and Hawkeye one too, just so we can sell that to the kids.
Sell it to the kids. What are you talking about? I'm going to Comic-Con. I guarantee you, it's just gonna be the man babies and me running around, shoving each other.
Just trying to, trample each other to death to be first in line to see whatever the new.
No, because it'll be interesting to see what is the hype this year. Mm-hmm. You know, like what is is it just gonna is Star Wars gonna be the jam just because, you know, they're gonna, you know, there is no Endgame, there is no. Tell me, is there something big, massive coming out that's going to take over Comic-Con this year?
Fuck if I know, man. You're probably...
There's no Aquaman, there's no...
I mean, I assume, you know, it's going to be Joker a little bit, and then, you know, Star Wars, but I assume all this Marvel stuff that they're holding back now, they're probably going to drop out there. Oh, I bet you Avatar, yay, is gonna...
You guys remember Avatar?
Yeah.
Remember Avatar?
You remember the highest grossing movie of all time?
Na'vi?
Yeah.
Remember the Na'vi guys?
Well, guess what? We got 5 more movies to shove down your throats.
That was the greatest. I remember sneaking you into Avatar, right? Because you didn't have a ticket or something?
No, you guys didn't sneak me in, but I definitely like showed up like 10 minutes late to that movie. And that was a similar... You know, obviously everybody in the world saw that fucking movie, so...
This was back in the day when what the old switcheroo is like 2 people go buy movie tickets. They go sit. One person stays. The other person takes both stubs. They go out. They hand the stub to the other person. And then they go, oh, here's my stub.
Right.
And then, you know, you just smuggle them on in. And nowadays, it's just harder to do stuff like that, you know? We were living on the edge when we were kids, you know what I mean?
Didn't have any of this assigned seating.
Where's your e-ticket, sir?
This isn't an airplane,
show
dude.
Show me your cellular device.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't have any of that. It was those were the days.
Back when
2009
3D was a new and exciting thing instead of just an excuse to charge you another $15 at the theater.
Oh man, I remember that. I don't know if I've seen a 3D movie since.
Yeah, it's
I thought I was going to die.
You're going to be seeing all the avatars in 3D. Oh, have you heard of this the new Ang Lee movie that's coming out with Will Smith?
Yeah, Gemini Man.
Yeah, so I'm really curious about that. Not to sidetrack too much, but
no.
But I've been hearing more about, because Ang Lee's last movie was called like Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk, and
oh right, yeah, and I didn't see that.
Yeah, nobody saw it. It made no money, and it got pretty bad reviews. But the only reason Ang Lee was doing it was he's like been really, really trying hard to push this 120 frame IMAX 3D stereoscopic thing. Like it's like basically like, you know how film normally travels at 24 frames a second, and then they tried doing that thing with The Hobbit where they were doing 48 frames a second and everyone hated it.
I feel like I remember this, but I don't know anything about the technology.
Yes,
but I do remember people being mad.
Yeah, basically people complained about that because movement was really weird. Like people were...
Is it the same thing, the motion smoothing that everyone's complaining about now with TV?
Not the same thing, but it's similar. But it's a lot of the same. Like the it looks like you're watching like people from an old time movie. Like the movements aren't natural and everything's too crisp. But so that was at 48 frames a second, and that was a disaster. So Ang Lee, instead of doing like a 5-minute little test movie, went whole hog trying to do this fucking Vin Diesel movie about army soldiers in Iraq. And I think his logic was he was trying to make the viewers feel like they had PTSD, because when you have 120 frames a second, your brain can't distinguish that like what you're seeing isn't real. So people... It's
not right in front of you?
Yeah, and I just want to say, I heard a lot of this. There's another podcast called Blank Check with Griffin and David, but I just found this whole thing fascinating, and the fact that it's leading into Gemini Men is interesting too. But basically, people complain that like because it's in 3D, they couldn't cut away to things. So if like somebody's having a conversation and you want like a reaction shot, they couldn't just cut to someone because it's like super jarring in 3D. Like if you cut away from something, like it like makes your mind break a little bit. And then people were noticing nuances that should never normally show up on film. Like you could see actors memorizing lines and all this other stuff. So like that was a total disaster.
What?
The movie, like you could, like the detail was too hyper real, and it was apparently like horrible to shoot because you needed like 3 times the lighting to get the same shots and everything.
So how does this all loop back to Gemini Man, where he's like perfected the craft now or something?
Yeah, so like this whole thing, that movie made like $8 million worldwide or something. It
cost $800 million.
Yeah, like it was a total failure, and I think they were only able to equip like 3 theaters or like 5 theaters in the entire world to actually show stereoscopic IMAX 3D of this movie. And because nobody saw this movie, like they stuck around for like 2 weeks and it was gone. So nobody saw this movie the way it was supposed to be after all of this like pain in the ass Ang Lee went through to do it. And you'd think like any sane person would be like, well, that was a nice experiment with a tiny like, $20 million movie. I'm going to go make another Life of Pi. But no, he goes right back to it with a Will Smith action movie.
He doubled on down.
But yeah, he's doing the same thing, 120 frames a second, stereoscopic. I have no idea how you're going to do that with an action movie. And on top of that, you got all of this like 2 Will Smiths de-aging stuff. So, if he pulls it off, it could be pretty cool. But the cynical side, and I really like Ang Lee as a filmmaker, but I'm kind of wondering if it's going to be a train wreck. It's Will Smith, so I assume it'll make a lot of money, but I
wouldn't assume that.
I mean,
you've been hanging out with Will Smith since 2010.
Yeah, I mean, he says a lot of dumb stuff, but After Earth aside...
Oh, but what was it, like, what's his last big hit?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, Suicide Squad? Wasn't his whole deal, weren't they always saying like every movie he's come out with has been number 1 except for After Earth opening weekend?
Man, I don't know.
I
mean, that might be just because he's in blockbusters, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. Will Smith ain't pulling down that big Willie those box office anymore.
He doesn't
man.
have that cachet. I mean, like he really needs to work. And it seems like he's kind of trying to do this, but his project choice in the last 10 years hasn't been super great.
I mean, he's not doing Bad Boys 3 because he wants to let's see, Bright,
Yeah, Bright. What he did a bunch of like
Collateral Beauty.
What the
Collateral
fuck was
Beauty?
that?
Concussion.
What?
Focus with with what's his girl?
Yeah, that was okay, I guess.
Winter's Tale, Anchorman 2, After Earth, Men in Black 3, 7 Pounds, Hancock, I Am Legend, Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay, so those are his good movies, but
now we're hitting it. Hitch 2005.
Okay.
Shark Tale, I, Robot. I mean, this ain't a murderer's row.
I mean,
I'll put it up against anybody. Christian Bale. I'll put it up against Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Like, Big Willie ain't, this ain't Independence Day money anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely not the same.
And then I think you're going to get that big old Aladdin bomb.
Oh, that was the other thing I knew that was going to be terrible. Yeah,
Will Smith just can't catch it. He's gonna be... I know he gets paid like $40 million to be the genie, but like... Still, dude. Everyone, like, everyone's laughing at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they can't be good.
I just, that was one that I still haven't seen the trailer for. I just, like, the screen grab of Will Smith as the genie, like, just says it all. Like, I was like, I don't even need to...
It was the worst fake blue monster thing I saw until I watched the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer. Oh, my
God. Yeah, don't even get me started. That, that made me want to cry. Like
did you see the trailer?
Yeah, well, so I didn't even like watch it with sound. I just like was in the bathroom and I just watched it on silent with like tears in my eye as I saw the fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. But okay, so
you can't appreciate how bad it is. I think because now we have Detective Pikachu to show you what could be great about a goofy movie like this.
Yeah.
and then for them to have this come out after.
Yeah, they couldn't even drop it
bad.
first. It's like
no,
and
I would have hustled to try to get this done first, but to have this come out after Detective Pikachu, where everyone's going to be like, why didn't you do it good like that?
Yeah, like if you could actually abort a movie, like, or something like that would be like, I guess the movie will probably make some money, but it's just like,
oh no,
dude, just take the fucking cover art from the Genesis games and put like like all of the designs they did for Sonic were just like right in that. I know it's...
Well, like, who is this for?
I have no idea, man.
Do like, the old people who played Sonic, like us, like, is that IP that's valuable? Well, like, I don't even know.
I loved Sonic growing up, and I was jazzed about the idea of the movie, but as soon as the posters started coming out, like, even before they showed Sonic, like, they had the one poster that was on, like, the Golden Gate Bridge, and you just saw...
Where everyone was, like, yelling about his thick thighs.
Yeah, that was like, oh, no, this is not good. And somebody pointed out, I was like talking with one of my coworkers today, and did you notice it seems like, once again, I watched the trailer without sound, but like it seems like it's very similar plot wise to that movie that came out a few years ago with Russell Brand, Hop, with James Marsden, which was like pretty much the same thing, where James Marsden encounters this like cute little scruffy CGI creature from another land, and he's got to help him and save him from bad human people.
I didn't see that. I didn't see Kangaroo Jack, and I didn't see what was the movie where what's the movie where Seth Rogen is an alien? And he's with
fuck, it's like
Ed
Paul,
or Frank
Paul.
or Paul.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of these movies.
No, you don't like the talking CGI? Oh, please tell me you've seen Alvin and the Chipmunks Shipwreck, though, right? That's the
I didn't see Shipwrecked. No. I mean, there must be a market out there that I'm not aware of these movies that just have some zany wackadoo character with Scooby-Doo 4 or something, I mean,
I think that's people with children that just want to, get some alone time for 2 hours. Like, I
don't know, man.
Like, just scroll through Facebook while their kid shuts the fuck up for a little bit. Like,
but just watching Jim Carrey do, like, his, and you didn't watch it with the sound, but he was basically doing, like, the Fire Marshal Gary character from
In Living Color.
From In Living Color, basically, like, just Fire Marshal Gary, sort of, or was it? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. But,
Fire Marshal Bill, I think, or whatever.
Bill or something. Yeah. Oh my God. And
when they announced that Jim Carrey was going to play Dr. Robotnik, like, once again, at first I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I could see that, but I assumed he would be CGI. Like, I thought most of this movie would be CGI. Like, I definitely don't like this Sonic in the real world thing, because it seems very apparent that, like, it's way cheaper to do a movie, like, hire James Marsden and just have him interact with a shittily animated, like, single character instead of, like, building a world or, like, designing it so it looks kind of like the fucking video game. Like,
well, the video game, in my recollection, looked absolutely nothing like a realistic world whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Every single background was like straight out of 1994 Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, F-Zero.
Right, pixely as fuck.
Like, not like it didn't look like this universe.
Yeah. And I wanted to see at the very least like one of those circly ramp things. That's.
Yeah, does he run a goddamn
loop?
Like
I think I barely saw him spin, and I don't know.
He ran on a highway.
Yeah, I don't know. It just really hurt my soul a little bit.
Well, this will make the kids want to go out and get the Sega Genesis Classic and start running around.
This will make kids want to get out and like give all their money to Nintendo just to like.
I'm just glad we won't get to see Knuckles and Tails and all the rest of them.
Oh, they're gonna have to cameo at the end. That's your sequel setup bait or whatever. Yeah, but normally I'm like pretty open minded with certain things, but oh my God,
not Sonic, not Sonic.
Why not Sonic? Anyone but Sonic.
bring me another Super Mario's live action before you do Sonic.
Yeah,
And then those are fighting words.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Super Mario Brothers movie, it was like terrible, but it was like magnificently terrible in its own special, unique way.
Well, this has potential, my friend.
Yeah, but so this is like generic terrible. This is Alvin and the Chipmunk Shipwreck. Like, they changed a few things around, but like you can already tell it's that same plot that's in every single kids movie with CGI talking furry creatures or whatever. But
well, just stay tuned, kids, because this sounds like a real potential trash for Ash.
Oh yeah,
I haven't had one in a while. She's been pretty busy, but this sounds like a real dive on a grenade for me, Ash. Go see this absolute garbage film.
I mean,
and let me know how it goes.
I'll totally like hate watch it and talk shit about it. With
you and
her.
Ash,
yeah,
you and Ash can podcast.
Yeah, totally. I'm.
I'll do it with you guys. I'll ask what the hell happened.
Yeah, just
because she doesn't. I mean, I think she's played Sonic, but I mean, she doesn't really know.
It's also like there's not much backstory to know, really. So it's not like you got to read the fucking prequel novels or something like that.
Right. It helps to know as little as possible, I think.
Yeah.
I want to circle back one thing to Infinity War that I remember I scribbled down here. The reunion with Spider-Man and Ned.
Spider-Man and Ned?
Remember his fat friend Ned?
Yeah.
The man in the chair?
Yeah.
The guy in the chair? Now, they brought everyone back just 5 years later, right?
I think, yeah.
Now, they reunited...
So is the question...
Spider-Man was dead.
Yeah, is the question, is Ned 5 years older, or
Is he 5 years older and still in the high school, or was he dead too?
Well, so I assume that he was dead too, but that I've seen a lot of people kind of raising this question of what the timeline is, especially since the next movie is Spider-Man, and like according to the trailers, it seems like all of them were still in high school and all of them were still the same age and everything's...
Right. All the main characters are still exactly the same.
So my theory is, and I could be totally wrong, but they kept on saying the new Spider-Man takes place like right after Infinity War ended or whatever, Endgame ended. But I bet you the whole Europe trip is going to be intercut. Like, I think the Europe trip is a flashback, and it's going to be intercut with Spider-Man doing some sort of like shit with S.H.I.E.L.D. or something like that. Like, I feel like the Far From Home thing might be a pun or something. Like, maybe he could, I don't know, be going to space. I could be totally off base with it, but...
So what are the odds that all his girlfriend and the asshole kid and...
Well, I'll tell you the odds.
All of them aren't 100%. But
I mean, the odds are 50-50, right? Because that's the deal, right? 50% of them died. But yeah, I think
that's the deal.
I think it's very unlikely that all of them would disappear or very convenient. So yeah, I feel like they got to do something. It'll be like Ant-Man the Wasp. Like it'll kind of like take place. I guess not concurrently, but maybe like a little bit before, a little bit after with Endgame.
Yeah. Did you pick up that the kid at the funeral was the Iron Man 3 kid?
It took me a second because it's been a while. Even though I liked Iron Man, like Iron Man 3 is probably one of my better liked Marvel movies. I haven't seen it in a while,
really?
But yeah, I think I thought of that after the movie ended.
Not me. No, that someone pointed that out, and I was like, "Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a deep cut."
Easter eggs, man. That's, if there's a movie, you're gonna stick all the fucking Easter eggs in.
I was like, Jesus, Jurassic Park was 2 years ago, and this kid grew like 8 feet.
I mean, kids be growing,
what are you gonna do?
Were you astounded by I feel like they talked up that ending shot of them all at the funeral so much leading up to the movie. Like, every actor was like, yeah, in the end, we are all there on set at the same time. Yeah.
Were they really, or was it CGI?
It seems
I don't
CGI
believe that they were
to
all
me.
there.
That's the thing is like, but I assumed that was the shot that they were talking about because I felt like I read like 7 different interviews with different actors that were all saying the same thing. But yeah, it definitely looked like it wasn't. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they did a lot of CGI stuff in that or whatever. Other stuff. Oh, okay. So 2 other side things that I did like about this. Captain America versus Captain America was kind of cool, and Thor with 2 hammers was pretty cool, or a hammer and an axe. And then
did you? I don't understand the whole Captain America can now wield the. Did they explain that? Is that something I missed?
In the second Avengers, when they're all joking around at the party about how Thor's the only one that can pick up the hammer, and they all kind of get drunk and try separately to pick
right. Yeah,
there's like a shot where Captain America kind of nudges the hammer, like he's the only one that kind of gets it to move a little bit, and Thor just kind of shoots him a glance where he's kind of freaked out. So I think it implies that if anyone on Earth was worthy to wield it, you have to be pure of heart or whatever the fuck. And
Thor's the least worthy of all.
I know, but he's an Asgardian.
He's the biggest asshole in the world, in the universe, right?
Whatever. But no, I totally agree. It doesn't make any sense, but I like the visual.
They leaned too hard into the Lebowski thing. They should have never said Lebowski.
Yeah.
But have him be Lebowski, but don't say Lebowski. That, I cringed at that one.
Yeah.
But having him be Lebowski was great, but then don't call him Lebowski.
Right. Well, you gotta spell it out. You gotta spell it out for Grandma.
Jesus. Yeah. We got it. Just relax. Fat Thor, live long and prosper, my friend.
Yeah.
I know we'll never see him again.
Oh man,
but we had our time.
It would be so great if they just committed to Fat Thor and just.
Apparently, people are real upset about it or something. There's a lot of Fat Thor shaming going on, and people are upset that they're making fun that it's a big joke that he's fat.
I mean, Chris Hemsworth's joke in every movie seems to be making fun of his diet regimen or his physique, because in Ghostbusters that was pretty much his whole gag is the
hot guy who just has to take his shirt off every movie or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they should just commit to it. Just make Thor get fatter and fatter every movie.
Let him be fat. I want to see him fat.
I want to see him.
He's a more dynamic, likable character.
Yeah. I like to guzzle hundreds of tanks of beer on my Norwegian island as well. So I find that relatable.
Yeah. Let him be fat. That's my message.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I wanted more people to die. I wanted them all dead. I wanted pretty much them all dead. We only got a few of them. We only got 3. We got Scarlet. Then we got
Tony.
What's her name? Tony. We got
Cap.
Half-assed, half-measure Captain America. Got kind of death, kind of exit, kind of cop out, kind of whatever. And then Natasha. That's it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's. I'm just, I'm glad it's over. It was
I'm in a, like World War II.
You're just
glad it's over.
Are you in Times Square kissing a nurse or whatever? Dipping?
No, it's more like the war in Afghanistan.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Where it's
it's much darker.
How long are we in? We're 10 years in.
Oh, yeah.
That's, you know what I mean?
I can't even remember how this started.
It's March 2003.
Saigon, still in Saigon.
Just, just give us a little break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember I couldn't even keep up with the Netflix Marvel shows.
Yeah, same here.
And then they're talking about all the Marvel craziness. I can't do it.
I know. Well, that's the thing is it's this is a good point. I won't totally step off the train, but I can't do 5 TV shows or whatever.
I'm just not cut out for it. You know what I mean? I'm just one man.
Yeah, it's also
I'm like a normal man. There's these crazy people that we follow online. He's I'll drop it. John Campia. He's just one of the total, just absolute, nerd bro. Just
nerd gods.
No, yeah, super popular. People love him, but just he's Avengers session 5. He's literally gone to. He went to the premiere. He went to see it the next day. He went to see it the next day. He went to see it the next day.
That's.
And I'm just what are you doing, dude?
Why?
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, I don't.
Like
3-hour movies too. That's like
no, but just honestly, like, are you serious?
I mean, what?
Like, you're a busy man. You have a life. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I would say the evidence begs to differ, but
no, but he's like one of these weird guys. Like, he goes to see Star Wars 8 times, and he's like, it's the 7th time is when you really start to appreciate The Last Jedi.
When you can close your eyes
like, dude,
and you can see Luke Skywalker, you know it's really working.
I was like, ugh, these people that it's the weirdest thing. It's almost like it's their version of like just crushed a 30-mile hike. just saw Avengers Endgame 8 times. Like, it's so pathetic to me that you're like, dude, you it's sad. Are you fucking one is good, dude.
Yeah,
one's good for me.
I can even understand
I'm
like
good.
2, or if you're a hardcore fan, 3. But like, for God's sake, give it a day to digest. Maybe I don't know.
I don't think I've seen a movie twice in the movie theater since Force Awakens.
Yeah,
because I had to convince myself like, did that really suck?
I gotta go in for a second opinion.
Let me go. I gotta see it again. See if it really sucked. But if I loved the movie, I wouldn't go see it 4 or 5 times.
I mean, that's why that guy right there is the reason why this movie is breaking $1 billion opening weekend.
I guess. I don't know, man.
Because that's the thing. That's the multiplier. Because everyone in the world is seeing the movie, but the question is, like, the thing I was wondering is, how much will it drop? Like, how much will it last? Which I'm sure it will last for a while. But I was wondering if everyone in the world went to see the movie opening weekend because they just wanted to get it out of the way and see how it wrapped up, would there be anyone left over in the ensuing weeks to go see it later or whatever? But I think there's going to be a good amount of people that see it 8 times because and whatever, like, if that's their bread and butter, more power to them. But it does seem borderline unhealthy. No,
it's just like this. I don't know, man. It's the weirdest. Like, it's creepy to me. It's like like weird and creepy to me.
Yeah, that's like.
So I don't know, but whatever.
So
weird and creepy. What better way to go out?
Exactly. Just like us, weird and creepy.
Weird and creepy.
But so we're I hope we're all prepared for this new phase where we'll just have some sort of Disney Plus app streaming at all times, so we can catch up on the new Adventures of Hawkeye or whatever.
Look forward to daily and hourly podcasts recapping whatever happened on The Mandalorian, and then whatever happened on Falcon and Bucky, and then whatever happened on WandaVision.
Oh yeah,
and then whatever happened in.
Don't forget about Loki's show. And there's got to be one more, right? I feel like
there probably is, man.
Howard the Duck. I think they're doing a Howard the Duck.
Oh shit! And more Doc.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. It just never ends. It will never end.
What a time to be alive! But we promise dedicated coverage of anything that we find interesting, which will probably be scant. So keep your eyes peeled. Hit that subscription button. Hit that bell icon so that you can be notified when we want to kind of complain about things. But other than that, thank you guys so much for listening. We clearly love to watch these crazy movies.
Not 8 times, but we love them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go 4 times.
Yeah.
Damn. We got shit going on. Yeah. But I think in the next one we're gonna do. We read the book. We're gonna do Good Omens, right?
Yep, that's the plan.
All right. Have you read the book yet? Have you started reading?
No, I definitely. I had started reading it like a year or 2 ago.
2008.
Yeah, like a long time ago, and I'm still on like page 2 at the moment. But I will have a nice afternoon where I just try to crush a bunch of it. And it's all on my cell phone still with the super cracked screen. So.
Yeah, exactly. So this will be an upgrade from Pet Sematary, where you constantly reminded the audience that you had not read the book in years. And I was like,
trying to be honest.
Shut up. Stop telling them. Stop telling them you haven't read this. You were like constantly mentioning over and over again. I haven't read in 12 years, but like I think I remember.
I think it kept getting longer every time I started. I think I haven't read it in 20 dickety years, or
So I think I read it in 1984.
Yes.
When did it come out?
Yeah, before I was born.
Like
for
this
sure.
time, just at least don't mention that you haven't read the
book.
book.
Well, I will. I promise I will. I think that's why I kept on mentioning it. That was the one where I wasn't as up on the book. But this one,
no shit.
I'll do my homework. I promise.
All right.
I'll make it.
That's one solemn promise from Mr. Andrew Volpe that he will actually read the book this time.
I will give it the same diligence we gave the Meg.
Yeah. And really, read the Wikipedia page. You know what I mean? I actually read these damn books. I at least read the Wikipedia page.
Oh yeah, I mean, I did. Hey, I watched that shitty ass Clancy Brown movie, so that was like as much.
That's a treat, sir. That's a treat.
It was kind of fun, but oh man, that was about as much effort as I was willing to put in for that one.
So this one should be. This one's gonna be tough because was it 10 episodes?
Yeah, it's always tough when we got series because binging.
Yeah, this is a series, so we got to read a book and then we got to watch 10 episodes of a show we may absolutely hate.
So this is going to be an experiment, I think, to see if we ever do this again. Depending on how this goes, because it sucks that everything's a TV show now, so it's harder to find a good book to binge or whatever. But
yeah, so we'll try to knock it out. I think it drops May 31st, and then did I tell you about this whole thing with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars Land, Disneyland?
Yeah, you said you got tickets opening day, right?
So listen to this.
Oh God,
listen to this, my friend.
This doesn't sound good.
Opening day is May 31st.
Oh,
okay, May 31st.
Okay.
When does our show come out? May 31st. Okay. I've taken the day off from work. I've arranged. You had to, in order to get there opening day, you had to rent a hotel room. You had to get a hotel room at Disneyland. We did it. Okay. Disneyland sends us an email saying, hey, or first news broke that, hey, if you have a hotel room, you'll get to go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that day.
Yeah, that's what you were saying last time.
Our hotel room, May 31st.
Right.
Check in at noon. They go, oh, you know what? They send us an email saying, yeah, your reservations are for May 31st. See you then. It's an hour later. Hey, we mistakenly sent an email, with your times. You're actually going to be June 1st.
Oh, no.
Or June 1st.
So you're not going opening day.
I'm not going opening
man.
day. I'm going day 2. Like the unwashed.
Yes, just another peon.
Like just another one of these peon, these scrub people out here. So I have to, I'm going to have to suffer a whole day of this damn place being open, not getting to go. Even though, so what am I supposed to do with this hotel room?
Clearly you're supposed to binge all of Good Omens with Ash.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna sit in my Disneyland hotel room and watch it on an iPad.
With all your Star Wars gear just like staring at a blank TV,
And I'm so pissed.
That sucks.
You know what I mean? I was so butt-sized about going day one, opening day, sprinting past these people, shoving heads out of the way.
I mean,
elbowing these kids out of the way.
Dude, you know what you got to do? There's plenty of like little shrimpy Star Wars nerds that you could beat up.
No. These people, the per capita, their weight is. I'm 220.
Right.
These people are just are behemoths.
Yeah.
I've been to Comic-Con, my friend. I've been to WinterCon. I've been to Star Wars Celebration. I'm like an Ewok.
You've seen every variety of big and tall nerd shirts available out there.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, 4XLs, baby.
Yeah.
I hope the rides can handle the. So I'm going 8 a.m.
This Jabba animatronic is really lifelike. Oh wait, that's one of the patrons. Never mind.
yeah, and I don't want to bash the
No, I love them too.
One of you. We're just teasing.
We kid because we love.
We kid because we love all of our fat sweaty people we love.
I'm one of you, so don't worry.
I'll be there. No, exactly. I'll be out there. So day 2, like a frigging loser.
Yeah, no. Way to go. Way to go. Are you still
8 a.m.
Are you gonna like smuggle a fucking recording device in, or are we gonna get?
I don't think there's no smuggling. Everything's just gonna be out in the open.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be one of 10,000 people. This is why I was like, oh, dude, day one, I'm gonna have a GoPro strapped to like I'm gonna have a 80-degree camera hooked up to my forehead, and I'm running around documenting this place. It's unbeseen to anyone. Right. It's gonna be old news by the time I get home.
Man.
It's gonna be old news. You know what I mean? I just can't compete with these people that are going to go and document the whole thing and run up to their hotel rooms, upload it, put the most clickbaity bullshit YouTube titles, and be like, look at this dirt, look at my Star Wars, look at the Millennium Falcon ride. I recorded the whole ride. I recorded the whole lightsaber building stuff. It's like, do you just go? I mean, I'll probably take some video. I'll put it up on the channel. Right. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to capture some funness, but... To me, I feel like it's just worthless. You know what I mean? To me, it's day 2. It's all been done.
What's the point?
It's been there, done.
Cancel the vacation. It's over. Star Wars has been canceled, people. We're just
So I don't know. We'll decide. We'll see what people want. We'll see what people I'll see what's out there May 31st. If I feel like there's a hole to fill, there's a void in the coverage, I'll start. We'll take some video. We'll do some recording. We'll put some stuff up. I'm not going to sacrifice my time. I'm not going to be one of these people that go to a concert and then you watch the concert through your own goddamn phone.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be in the moment. And, aside from that...
I've waited over 30 years to be able to have some man build a lightsaber in front of me.
Exactly, man.
You know what I mean?
There's, what are they called?
Or to pretend to be on a Millennium Falcon with a 4-year-old from Japan.
It's living the dream, and you can. Do you get to shoot Greedo first or anything like that? Or
ooh, god damn it! No, you get to be one of 8,000 people crammed into a standing room only cantina. Ooh. That's seating for 30.
Oh, nice. It'll be all of the fun of what's it like the Rainforest Cafe and all those fucking places.
Oh, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just as noisy, just as like overly priced, and. All the blue milk that you could ever desire.
Yeah, it'll be like Hard Rock Cafe combined with
Planet
with
Hollywood.
Rainforest Cafe and Planet Hollywood, and then 8 times as expensive.
Yes, exactly.
That blue milk, it's 1872 for a thimble of it or something.
Yeah, and it's probably like coffee creamer in a cup or something like that. Like,
I can't wait to hear all the poor people that work there that have to like actually hustle because it's early days.
Yeah.
And they're like, where's the bathroom? Oh, it's the refresher is over here.
Oh, they can't call it bathrooms in Star Wars land?
Where can I put my, where can I put my stroller? The youngling transports are located, burp, I'm just going to make some poor person's life a living hell, just asking them Star Wars questions.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
You're what makes...
Where can I get a cheeseburger? We don't sell cheeseburger. We sell grilled Travakian meat.
Oh, my God.
How is it? Is it medium well?
Is that like a loophole so they can use like gerbil meat or something like that in the burger?
Oh, I'm sure it's the highest quality meats only.
Grade F from the Board of Mexico or something.
Exactly. Ship it right over the border. We're 30 minutes away.
Oh, sorry, not Mexico. I mean, Tatooine or something.
We're in the deserts of. No, where are we? We're in Batu. No, I'm bleeding from the from my head. I need to see emergency services.
Oh, I don't know what the salmonella you speak of here. You must have midichlorians or something like that.
Right. Do you take Visa, MasterCard, cash? We only take Carillion credit. We only take Imperial credits. Your money's no good here.
Oh yeah, I want to see that SNL skit where it's like somebody like in the fucking Disneyland emergency room and they just can't communicate. They can't get the doctor to break.
They can't break character. Yeah.
You got what's his name? Jar Jar Binks is your practitioner or whatever.
Oh, I'm praying like hell to run into Jar Jar. Oh.
You'd think that they just have like a Jar Jar pinata, like one guy in that like whatever that protective wear they put on the guys that train guard dogs, like just have somebody like in that dressed up as Jar Jar so you can get like pinataed by the crowd or something.
Well, one of my friends from jiu-jitsu, he because I live in Southern California. We live like we're like 20, 30 minutes away from Disneyland. So one of my friends, I was talking about randomly, and he was like, "Oh no, I used to be one of the one of the characters. I used to work at Disneyland as one of the guys in the suits. I was like, holy shit, how was it? And he's like, yeah, some days, some suits are brutal, some suits are fine. He's like, Pluto, Buzz Lightyear, you're just dead.
Oh, yeah.
You're just dead, man. You're just getting killed. It's all just plastic and nonsense. Yeah. He's like, some suits are fine. Like Eeyore, he's like, yeah, no sweat, man. You're just moping around. It's easy. He's like, there's no training. They just put you in the suit, and you just become them.
Yes, you must embody, you are Eeyore. Or whoever,
but man, those must have been some ragers. You know what I mean? It's like a furry party mixed with like a high school drama club.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm sure, especially when everyone's dormant in the summer with all the crazy like German exchange students or whatever.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and who knows what goes on? What happens in the Magic Kingdom stays in the Magic Kingdom, or whatever.
No. All right. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. So we got some stuff to look forward to. You got this thing. You got all the other nonsense and any other movies. You're gonna have some Aladdin trash with Ash coming out. You're gonna have Sonic trash. I guarantee you, Ash is gonna go see Aladdin. My ass isn't gonna be in there. So I guarantee you're gonna get a nice little review from Ash. Trashy or not, Good Omens we're gonna tackle later on here coming out in about a month and a week probably. It's going to take us a week to watch it. Yeah,
definitely.
Guaranteed. Averaging 2 episodes a night or something like that. And then anything else. So, whatever else is coming out, we'll get together. We'll figure it out. We'll see what's going on. And there you go. So we appreciate you guys listening. And anything else, follow us on Twitter, Disorderly Media. Find us on Facebook, Disorderly ENT, thedisorderly.com for all that good stuff. Nick is diving into those Game of Thrones episodes. God bless him. Putting out those little mini reviews and stuff like that, getting into the nitty gritty like he does. So give those a check out on YouTube, and we'll catch you later. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.